All right, welcome back. This is going to be part 2 of part 1. So in the last video I showed you how to create these chamfers. I may have called them fillets too. I tend to mix those up, chamfers and fillets, but these are chamfers. And I did that with sketches, and I can show you those sketches, like for instance, that sketch. Okay, that was for the first cut. And then we made another sketch here for the second cut, and we did some mirroring. Probably an easier way to do that is with just the chamfer tool that we have up here, up top. So why don't we see if we can do that? I'm going to go ahead and actually just delete. I'm going to delete that. And it's going to ask me if I want to delete the sketch and the feature, which is what I want to do. Okay. Now notice it didn't delete this this cutout here, but it did create some problems, and we'll go back and look at that here in just a second. I want to delete all of this, and yes, I want to delete the dependent sketch feature and the feature itself. So there's that. So now let's go back into this sketch and see where the issue is. You can see that there's some pink stuff in here. Pink is not good in sketches. That means something is missing or wrong. So we have to fix it. And I'm going to show you how I'll just fix it for the heck of it, even though you may not have to do this if you use the chamfer tool from the beginning. Okay, so you can see that I'm just deleting purple things. Pink things or purple things. And I wouldn't expect you to know how to do this. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So that's that. So I'm going to finish this sketch. So notice that my slot is still there, and now I no longer have any problems over here with my sketches. I do want to go back in, however, and make sure that everything is where it needs to be. Notice that the scratch is all green. That means it's not defined. It means when it's defined is when it's completely blue. So now I can actually take this sketch. I could grab one of these legs here, and I could move it kind of all over the place, depending on what other relationships are there. But I'm going to go back in here, and I'm going to go to the collinear constraint, and I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on this edge and this edge here, and that's going to bring that back to where it needs to be. And for the heck of it, I'll click on this one and this one. And let's see, I'll just make sure that this is in the center. So I'm going to go OK. I'm going to make a line. I'm going to make it a construction line. And I'm going to go from here to here. I'm going to click OK. That's the bell. All right. Notice it's still not fully constrained. I can take that and move it all over the place. That's because these lines are green still. But now I'm going to go up here to the coincident mate or constraint, and I'm going to hover over this line until it gives me the very center. Okay, there we go. And then we know where the center is right here. It's right there. So I want those 2 points to be coincident, just so that centers that cut up. I'm going to finish the sketch, and there we go. All right, so I'm going to go up here to the chamfer tool, and it's going to make our chamfers, obviously. So we have these chamfers here, but it's kind of hard, kind of difficult when you think about it, because they don't give you any dimensions for the chamfers. They just tell you right here that it's all chamfers are 45 degrees. But what you have to take into account is where these chamfers end up. Okay, so this chamfer on this side right here, and on the opposite side, they end at 1 inch above the bottom. So you can see that 1 inch right there is representing this line. So that's 1 inch above the bottom. Let's go over here and see if we can make this happen. So we'll hit the chamfer tool, Okay, and it gives us some options here. It gives us a distance and a distance, or a distance, which would make it all would make the chamfer one distance. It would gives you an angle and a distance. Okay, and I wish I had like a pen or something that I could write on the board, but I don't. And it gives me two distances. Okay, so we can use, honestly, we can use either one of those. Um, but we're going to go ahead and use the angle. So we know we've got 45 degrees, but we also know by looking at this that, again, one of our chamfers, at least on this side, needs to end an inch above the bottom. So at 45 degrees, and we have a distance of, let's go back here. So if at 45 degrees, each leg of that chamfer is going to be the same dimension. All right. We know though that we want this dimension on this side to be an inch above the bottom. So if that's true and the overall height is 1.175, we can enter in 0.75 and we can select this distance to be 0.75 and this edge to be our chamfer. Okay. And we can hit, let's see if it'll let us, we'll have to hit apply, and then we'll do it again over here and apply and cancel. And let's just go ahead and measure this to make sure we did it right, because there's a good chance I could have screwed it up. I'm going to go to inspect up here in the top. And it's going to give me a measurement tool. And with that measurement tool, you can measure any surface. That'll give you the area of the surface. You can measure any line. It'll give you the length of that line. I want to measure this line right here and make sure that it is indeed 1 inch from the bottom of the part, which it is. So that's good. I did it right. Didn't embarrass myself. Okay, and that's where we want that edge to be, is 1 inch from the bottom. Now this one we want to be 0.75 from the bottom. So we're going to do another chamfer maneuver. We'll go back to 3D model. We'll go to the chamfer tool. We're going to go to, again, we're going to use the distance and angle. This time we're going to put in 1 inch. Okay, I'm going to select this and this, hit apply. I'm going to rotate. I'm going to select this face and this edge, hit apply, and cancel. And so that gives us the same part, only if you look over here, we've done some chamfers instead of actually creating the sketches. All right, so that's that. The next thing we need to do in order to answer the questions for this assignment is we need to, actually I'm going to make that another video. All right, so if you want to give this a try, go ahead and do that, and that's it for this video.